We get a lot of questions from people who are left of center saying, "Hey, Andrew, do you think that belittling and insulting Trump voters is productive?" And the answer may surprise you. It's yes, I do. I do, in fact, think that it's productive. And I'm going to go into greater detail, what promises to be a very long video. But the long and short of it is MAGA voters are addicts. They're addicted to MAGA. And by coddling them, all we've done is create a toxic, codependent relationship. And the nation has suffered as a result. I'm not belittling them because I hate Trump supporters. I love them. They're my neighbors. I want the best for them. But because they're addicts, the only kind of love I can show them is tough love. You have to understand, these people are never beating the cult allegations. They're in a cult. It's a cult of personality with, confusingly, Donald Trump at its center. And because it's essentially a cult, their minds don't work like the minds of reasonable people. They work like the minds of addicts. It's why nothing we have done over the last 8 years can convince them to give up MAGA or even to admit that MAGA has any faults whatsoever. As anyone who's ever loved an addict knows, you can never convince an addict not to be addicted to the thing that they are addicted to. You can't logic or reason them out of it. You can't empathize or sympathize hard enough. You can't even love them enough for them to choose anything other than their addiction. Now, the only thing that you can do is set boundaries and stick to them. And the reason you have to set these boundaries is because an addict will never give up the thing they are addicted to until the pain of the addiction outweighs the pleasure that they receive from the thing that they are addicted to. And so you have to make it a little painful, right? You have to set boundaries and stick to them. And for some of us, that will look like going gray rock. It will look like not going to Thanksgiving or Christmas. It will look like cutting these people out of our lives. And for others, it will look like insulting and belittling them, or throwing their ideas back in their face and reminding them that they're dumb, that it's dumb to believe that Democrats control the weather. It's dumb to believe that tariffs will reduce the price of eggs. It's dumb to believe that immigrants are eating cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio. And only a dumb person would believe that, right? You have to make their addiction a little painful. And their addiction is a particularly insidious one because it will never admit, in fact, it will go to great lengths to hide the fact that it is the reason why MAGA people are suffering. Think about all the things that they've had to give up over the years, right? They have family who aren't talking to them. The NFL is too woke. Bud Light is too woke. NASCAR is too woke. Even some churches are complaining that their constituents are coming up and saying that the teachings of Jesus are too woke. MAGA has slowly supplanted everything that they used to love in this life. If you'd asked me 10 years ago, what is it the Republicans love more than anything? Family, football, beer, NASCAR, and church would have been my top answers, but they're not allowed to love those things anymore because the cult, their addiction is more important. Their addiction is more important than anything. This year, they had the chance to vote to make their lives better, and they chose their addiction instead. You have to be tough, and they're not going to like it. They're going to do what every other addict does. They're going to try every play in the book to get you to stop, to get you to coddle them. Again, they're going to insult you. They're going to try to guilt trip you. They're going to try to make you feel bad. They're going to try to bribe you, and you just have to stick to it. You have to set the boundary and stick to it. There are other reasons why I think insulting and belittling Trump voters is ultimately productive. They're bullies, and bullies only respond to strength. I think that the main problem with Democratic messaging is that it's weak at a time when people are desperate for strength. But the main reason I think is these people are suffering as a result of their addiction, and being tough on them will help them. And so you got to be tough.